Hello all. Today I've got a new saber install that took entirely too long to finish. The Korbanth LS6 Gullwing Lightsaber. This saber has a Prism 5.1 with RGB Tri-Cree LED and a Goth 3D Designs master chassis. I'll be sending it to the buyer with a 36-inch long photon blade, which will have the diffusion film cut so that it works with the blade holder, which allows for a deeper blade depth than if I just stuck an LED in there. If you have any other thin-walled 1-inch blades and the diffusion film is cut right, those will work just fine as well. To fire it up, twist off the lower half, which will expose your recharge port and your kill switch, and just flip the switch. So I have the crystal chamber wired to do different colors based on the different sound fonts. So this one is kind of a blue base, and so, we fire it up, and it's primarily blue and flashing. And you'll see that the LEDs on the hilt, those actually are wired in parallel with the green and red in the crystal. So their behaviors change depending on the sound font. And you can see currently it's a blue light, and that works really well with the photon to make a very bright green. So turn that off. Now to put in a blade, twist off this outer section, which will expose your retention screw. And then you're going to take, the measurement is rubbed out, but this kind of hex key. And you're going to twist it so that you can fit the blade in there. And take your blade. And always twist this way, because the LED holder, you wouldn't want that to come undone. Now, you do have to tighten this one quite a bit. You don't want the screw to run into the cover. And so once you have that together, cover back down, you just twist it on, and bam. So you've got your in-hilt LEDs, crystal chamber. Now, this right here, this is the activation box cover, which gives you access to the activation box. Honestly, they made it a magnetic reveal for no reason that I can see. So if you want me to try and fasten that down before sending it off, I can do that. Press and hold, not the activation. Press and hold the auxiliary. And that'll get you to the next sound font. And so I've used a Yoda quote. I've got the red LEDs being the ones blinking on this. And so you fire it up. Red is the only color that properly shines through on a photon blade. Most others are funky shades of green, including a watermelon looking blade. It's really interesting. The core is red while the outside is purple, so that's really impressive. And so you can see the crystal is going different colors. If you hear that popping, that means saber is on low battery, so I need to charge this thing. Now, the most important part of this video is maintenance and accessing the SD card. So if you're trying to program it and change anything, and by the way, if the buyer, if the LEDs are wrong, if the crystal or the boot up sounds, if you want me to change any of that before sending it out, I can. If you want to do it yourself, so what you're going to do, twist off just like that. You're going to turn off the kill switch, and things get difficult here. So you're going to take a 3 30-second hex wrench, and you're actually going to unscrew the set screw on this lower half, and you're going to take it off completely. That exposes your speaker. So yeah, just like that. Then what you're going to want to do is make sure that's off, open up the doors, and lightly press against the crystal chamber and pull out up here. And once it is exposed like that, you take pliers and you're going to push against the bottom of the battery holder until it's kind of exposed, just like that. And you're going to take the smallest pinchers you have. You reach in there, press on it, pull it out, change whatever you need to. The chassis is great, but it's not especially conducive to programming. But if you do it just like this, you'll be fine. And so putting it back in, push on the top of the crystal chamber as well as the speaker holder. Don't actually press on the speaker. And get the back, put it back on. You'll know it's in the right place when you hear a little click from the wheels, or ball bearings, I should say. Okay, so when it moves freely, that's when you know it's tight enough. So fire it back on. Please don't try. And we'll switch it over to our, well, we'll do that again. Switch it over to our last font.
I'm a Jedi, like my father before me.
And now you can see you've got the green lights going. I thought that having that with the quote from Luke would be appropriate. Now, those of you who are familiar with the Saber kit, you'll know that this top half can actually twist off as well. In fact, in this stunt version that I have here, it's a little tight, but you can see that it's doing that. I have actually tightened the screw on this one to not allow for that, for a few reasons. One, this feature is great for getting to the recharge port, but as far as an actual reveal goes, if you don't have a crystal chamber up here, I don't much see the point. And then the wires. So this would cause you to have to put extra wires so that it can stretch out all the way. Now the wires are there, but it's still pulling it out. You risk pinching them. And so, you know, that is tightened. This should not move. And if it does, you can put it back. It's just figured I'd make it easier. Also, if you're going to have this on your belt, I would really suggest you tighten that so that it cannot twist out, because otherwise you would have a saber hanging from a much less durable point. So anyway, that should be all the information you need. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask, and thanks for watching.